Jack, why did you throw my dog off the balcony earlier?
Sorry I got so upset. I didn't mean to.
It's not really an excuse, is it? You were getting angry earlier when Annie was in the bathroom and you wanted to go in. Oh, hold up, Joe's ringing me. Hey up. Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. You guys need to get ready. You with that weird twat, Jack? The guy who looks like Tom Hanks got caught in Storm Dennis?
I'll have to call you back in a bit, mate. I'll see you in a bit.
Alright, no worries. I'll be only checking out.
Sorry about that, Jack. That was just Joe on the phone. But what were we on about? Why do you get so mad? What's your secret?
I'm always angry, Harry.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Team, how you doing? Woohoo! What up, you look like fucking Shrek. Ah! Ah! Fucking pathetic. Episode 15 of the Sunday Roast. Thanks for tuning in today. We have a lot of guests today, ranging from Jack Wild, who just did the skit, and Jason Lloyd. We also brought with him his extra Dan Gleeson. Jay, where did you find Dan?
I don't know.
Jay, so before we start,
so much to say.
Do you know what happened, right? I thought we were doing, in my head, we were doing the skit again, and I panicked.
do you know what? We start, Jay and Dan were going off, right? Jay and Dan were having a right good conversation. Jay goes, I've got so much to talk about.
I've got a good topic.
Go on then.
What the fuck is that, Dan?
Fuck.
Tattoos, you want to talk tattoos?
Wait, let's see it. No, let's see it.
Lads, you just got to be careful in terms of talking.
I did
over
it
each
when I
other.
was in Australia. It's pretty tragic.
No, tell us about it, Dan.
Yeah, tell us why'd you get it done?
I did it myself. It was with a stick and poke tattoo gun.
Shout out Gemma if you tune
No,
in.
no.
Gemma's doing fire.
Restart.
Oh yeah, so in all seriousness, I want to just tell you all a quick story just to get it tuned in for the people who give a shit about us, which is minimum. Last week, me and Harry, I don't know if you know this, but we were actually involved in a car crash. On the way back...
Didn't do its job, did it?
No, you didn't. And do you know what's funny? You know when you're in a taxi, you always think they're not going to crash, right? So we were in this taxi. This is fucking mad. Has anyone seen Due Date?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know when Alan doesn't wake up?
Yes.
So I was asleep in the back of this cab, and I woke up just fucking randomly. Harry's on my chest, looking at me.
Shock.
Oh, what a surprise.
Shock. He goes, Joe, are you alright? I went, yeah, I'm fucking fine, get off me, what are you doing? He goes, I kissed
Have
him.
you told me?
He goes, we've just been in a car crash. I fucking slept through it. I shit you not. The taxi went straight into the back of someone.
Yeah, how bad was it, really?
Not bad at all.
It wasn't too bad. They were on a roundabout. And
You alright?
we go turn around the roundabout, and then he obviously he either clipped the back or I think she clipped the side.
I was dramatising it for this story.
Did they stop and have a chat about details and that?
He was a bit angry. The other guy was angry actually, wasn't he?
Yeah, the other guy was
angry, but I think the girl was driving and she looked a bit pissed.
It was more just like you don't feel like you're going to crash in a fucking taxi.
I never thought, and then the day after when we were coming back and Storm Dennis was hitting us with everything he had, and the whole roads were flooding, and we were on the way back at 2:30 in the morning.
I was on the way back as well, by myself.
Yeah, facts. Oh, because you flaked and bailed on us.
Yeah.
Wait, Dan went...
Shout out Georgia.
Dan's getting docked so hard. Dan's getting docked so hard. Dan, you were like Jason.
Oi, Joe, cut it. Cut it.
At least I'll bring out his personality because he's fucking wank on his last one.
It was a match for you though, wasn't it, Jay? Shared it with all his mates.
This one will be the most.
That actually quite upset me.
What, that you're wank on a podcast?
Yeah.
Dan goes at the start of this, just for context.
I thought it was quite good, Dan.
Yeah.
You're telling me offended it. Like,
that's a lot. I was going to say something I shouldn't say.
No.
What?
No. I actually can't say.
They're actually falling out.
Come on, let's not fall out on the podcast.
Oh, I want to hear it now.
We will hear it. Yeah. Dan goes straight up. Oh, as soon as we get on this podcast, Jay's fucking slammed. I'm going to slam it.
Yeah, we got an hour, mate.
Yeah,
Tell me
what you're going to say.
Go on, let's get it out. Let's get it out.
No, it wasn't about you. That's why I can't say.
Right, so this episode we obviously thought we'd bring some critics onto the show because after every episode we get a few slates.
We get a few advice. We get some advice.
One of them was go straight into topics, and so people today, what topics have you brought with you?
Dan wants to talk about Fury Wilder, which is tonight. It's going to be a big fucking fight.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about.
We've all got an opinion on that.
What about my line?
I wouldn't on
Jack,
didn't get
have
on
you
to
got an
it.
opinion on the
Last
Fury
time
Wilder?
Wilder.
I have, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Who are you?
I don't
Hi,
like
James. It's not. Like, basically,
Sorry, just wondering who he
we
was.
filmed the skit.
basically the equivalent of you, Jay, the irrelevant mate that nobody knows about. So
Alright, that hit home as well. That's two
We
now.
haven't even really.
Wait, let Dan speak, bro. Let Dan
No,
speak.
we filmed a skit earlier,
Yeah,
right?
fast.
I'm basically speaking to Jay's followers because they're the only followers.
Shout out LinkedIn.
Mate,
Jason Lloyd.
everything is about Jason. The whole skit, he didn't have a part to play. He fucking commented on everything. Hey, am I right?
you're right.
We were going to get on to the
We had to
topic
give him
of-
a part. We had to give him a
He was
part.
upset.
Why are you looking at that? It's there, you knobhead.
No, to be fair, I do that as well. I get it
I'm
wrong.
just watching myself.
Yeah, he's just watching himself. Sorry, Jack. Go on, mate.
I look
Predictions.
at
Fury
myself from
Wilder.
my side.
Before we
I
go
hope Wilder
completely
wins.
off
I'm
course.
not a big fan of Tyson Fury, so.
Facts. Any predictions? Rounds?
Right, you're both gypsies.
Hey, Jay, on a real
So yeah, for context, apparently because I'm Welsh, I'm a gypsy.
Right. Okay. Did we have to bring this up?
Anyway, enough of the banter.
Facts.
Why don't you like Tyson Fury?
I just feel like he tries to sell the
featuring
fight
on
too
that.
much.
Wait, give me.
I just feel like he tries to sell the fight too hard.
Fury.
He tries to have this personality.
Okay, so you don't.
Impressed.
So in theory, you don't like all the greats of the fighting world.
No, it's not even that.
They all
like,
try to sell
I respect and appreciate when they box, but I don't really care about the whole drama side of it. That they like to sort of entice.
The
people.
promotional angle.
Yeah.
You're not fond of that.
You wouldn't watch it if that didn't happen.
You would.
No, you wouldn't.
So you don't like watching boxing?
No,
I
he's-
love
he's
watching
got a
it, but it
point.
wouldn't happen. Like that's how it gets all the fans in. That's how it brings all the money in. The actual fighting, yeah, you know, probably doesn't bring it in without all the fucking.
I mean,
So what percentage of boxing is actually boxing?
Well, think about this. McGregor's a phenomenon.
It's 100% boxing, but I think it's the. It's
How
the,
much of it?
It's the
alright,
build-up
what
that brings in the money in the fans. It's
What
the build-up that
percentage
brings.
does the fight matter then? So the build-up's what, 70% of what the draw
Listen,
is?
No, I'm talking about the money side of things and the reason it's got so many fans.
Okay.
No.
McGregor is a phenomenon, right? Why is he a phenomenon?
Drama.
Promotion.
Yeah.
Promotion. That's a certain angle, isn't it?
Mm.
You're just saying, to be fair to Jack, he doesn't care for it, and I don't really
Yeah,
care for
that's-
it. But then again, he does get the engagement hook big time.
Who's
because
going to
he-
win then, Jack?
Yeah, what's your prediction, bro?
I think either Wilder will win early on, or Tyson Fury will win
Michael Allen.
decision after.
So Tyson Fury. If
it goes the full 12 rounds, I think Fury will win.
you would say Fury realistically would only win by decision, wouldn't
Yeah, I don't
Dan.
even knock him out.
Say again.
he? You would say realistically Fury would only win by decision or TKO.
I think it'll be the same as last fight.
Really?
But he'll actually get the decision this
Really?
time. Yeah.
So you think we'll get it unanimously?
There's been a lot of drama
Yeah.
as well. Apparently, aren't the
Split
judges
decision.
all American or something?
I don't think Deontay Wilder can outbox
That's a
him,
sounder.
and I think
He'll be
Tyson
fine.
Fury
Sounds
will avoid
fine.
the knockout.
If that's what you
Realistically, what in terms of the judges or whatnot, because there was some drama last time in regard to that. Do you know if there's been any shift or changes?
I mean, there'll be a change in judges, but I don't
Do you actually know which judges are
Well,
on?
I heard that they're all American or something, which they're not.
It's the same. I thought it was the same panel.
No, it's not. I
No?
can't-
I
don't
love
know.
that.
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm not being racist. I love that black ref. He's joking, eh?
Which one? What's
The
his
black
name?
ref, he's
What's
really
that got to do with
eccentric.
being racist? Just because he's mentioning someone who's black. I'm not being racist. I'm just mentioning someone who's of another colour.
Anyway,
I don't
have you not seen him, the eccentric black ref?
Yeah, I've seen him, but there's a few.
Was he the one that was?
There's
was
just
he?
that
Was
one,
he?
apparently.
Are you talking about the
No,
one
no,
in
no,
that?
no. What Jay's
was
saying
it
is there are a
Bojack
minority,
when he was covered in
and there's
blood?
at least there's a few of them.
Right. Wilder knockout.
What round?
7.
Jay believes in the hype rumours though from the old herd.
No, that's what I said. Wilder
Yeah,
was
your
gonna knock out thingy.
your
from round
opinion's valid
7.
as well. Come on.
Cheers, Jay.
Harry, do you want to feature next week on Jay's
Yeah, will that be alright, you two?
Jason Lloyd Bob Grass.
Nah, Dan's been smashing it.
Right.
Dan's been
I'm taking
Harry,
the
when
piss.
you do the edit, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe
Cheers,
Jason Lloyd's
Podcast,
channel.
there you go. Boop, button
Yeah.
there. Done.
It's full
Jay
of-
at Cap.
Yeah.
Jay's podcast's full of theories.
Yeah, fine. So let's get back to
Moyes and Forces.
My work
There's Jane Jack.
my
Keith
work watched
Cardiff.
it, said it was very good actually.
Thank you. So that said, let's just get the predictions out of the way,
Go on
and
then.
then we can move on. You're completely right. So in terms of that, you're saying round. You're
No,
saying round
I
7.
didn't think it would be a
Wilder.
TKO.
I'll say.
We don't even know what he said. He was
Do you know
talking
what-
on with shit. You don't even know
Well,
what he
no,
predicted 2 minutes
listen,
ago.
listen. Round 7 knockout, and I've got another question. Do you know what TKO is?
Yes, it's a knockout.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
It's a technical knockout.
There we go.
TKO's a
Well
knockout.
done, Jay.
That could happen.
Just
A
call it
TKO
Harry out.
could happen.
You think TK could have it?
No, it's the
A
only. it's the
TKO
only
can be like
I
a
think-
curtain stuff.
I'm backing
Yeah.
Fury that
It's
much.
just a fight
I'm
against
backing
Stockton.
Fury that much.
Like Florida, they got a rule, haven't they? 3 knockdowns in it.
So what was your
TKO.
prediction? What?
I think the
That's
Fury
only
will
in
win, but I
Florida.
think they will go the
Is
full.
it?
Okay.
Fury could
That's
get
a
Sorry,
good-
I've got a few
bet.
conversations.
Yours?
I'm going to realistically say I think Wilder will win round 10 knockout.
That's a safe prediction.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this next topic.
I'd love if Fury.
What's the
I'd
age
love Fury
difference
to
between the
win.
two? Because Fury quite a bit older.
No, Fury's 32, isn't he? Dan?
I'd
33?
check that.
I think he's 33.
And how
Yeah,
old's
Wilder's
I thought he was-
35 and I think Fury's
Is he?
about 30.
I thought Wilder was
I
younger.
think Wilder's about 33, Dan. You're fine. No, I think Fury's about 33. You're fine.
No,
I think you're
Fury's 30 and Wilder's
I might be wrong.
33 or 34.
I don't know why I'm
I
that
think you're
confident.
No, Wilder's 34, I think.
I think you'll find Wilder's 34.
There we go. Fury's 30.
Yeah, but I said that, so it means
Alright,
he's not
so
30.
Dan,
Jay,
you're an extra.
I thought it was the other way around.
what did you want to say,
We
Jay?
both
Sorry.
got it wrong. He's 31.
Right. New topic.
Go on, mate.
I said to Jack, we should raise
Jack's over there.
national
Contact.
insurance tax by 1%.
Oh, are we getting into this?
Can we
Yes.
finish the fighting side?
Yeah,
of it
no,
first?
too late now,
I
go
have
on.
an interesting-
Why would you want to
I have
raise
an
any
interesting
kind of
question.
tax?
Because it's an interesting topic. We got Jack
Right,
on.
Jay, what was your bet on
And
Chelsea?
it's gonna
Wait,
be
wait,
good.
Wait, wait, before we go on to that boring topic, what was your bet on Chelsea Tottenham?
Draw.
Roll
I've,
top
I've
of
actually put.
None of our viewers have ever come
Okay.
into it.
Listen,
Fucking
listen.
sports.
Raise it.
Sorry, everyone.
No, because right, this,
Sorry.
do you know what Dad? Right, this is what Dad said. Dad said.
Sorry, can I just... We don't have one dad. We all have separate fathers.
Well, you
Jake's
won't
just
fucking
phrased
know.
No, I've raised the top.
You won't fucking know that. Go on, Jay.
Okay, I've raised the topic now, so we've got to go through with it, right?
Of course.
My dad told me, which I didn't know was true, that
Mhm.
the 5% is not all spent on the NHS. Only 40% of the 5% is
Of what?
National insurance.
the national insurance tax.
Yeah, there's different bands of national insurance, and one only goes to your actual national insurance, the other goes to other things.
Well, I'm learning
basically.
now.
And
So
then they put your national insurance on to pay other people's national insurance,
Yeah.
which is technically a pyramid scheme. It's actually
I just know
you
after
could
it.
argue that it's
I said to
illegal.
Jack, I would happily
If you
pay
wanna
more
go
money into the NHS because we got on the topic of the NHS, and I said I'll happily pay an extra percent. But said I wouldn't really want to pay more tax, but I don't mind paying a separate tax into national insurance. What do you think of that?
So you would just
Pay more money into the
add
NHS?
more bureaucracy to divide a new tax system to do that, or?
Would you pay more money into the NHS to be good?
Well,
Not
that's
unless it was-
that's a very jarring question, isn't it? Because saying would you pay more money to the NHS is like holding a gun to my head and going, well, why aren't you giving the fucking National Health Service more money? It's like, do we not all contribute already?
Problem is, it doesn't work like that either. If you go, yeah, we're
Your taxes go
bringing in
fucking
a
left,
new
right, and
tax,
centre, mate.
yeah,
They
it's
never
going
go
all
where you
over the
want them.
place. Yeah, so
But
like
if-
you put 1%.
If you could pay more money into the NHS, would you?
Well,
I don't think.
I'm
money's the
on. I mean,
problem.
On top of what you already pay.
Correct.
well, no, because I'll
You
be
don't
paying.
think money's the problem?
I'll be
Yeah,
paying.
depends
I'll
how
be.
much. How much?
I'll be
how
paying a
much?
considerable amount of tax on
Mm.
a lot
How
of
much?
things.
How much
So
extra?
It's a purpose, and
Realistically.
it won't work as a fixed pay because everyone's on a different wage,
Yeah,
so it needs to be a
obviously.
percentage. So I said
But
1%.
what would you pay?
1%.
What would you pay on your 100 grand a year?
that's a fair.
Well
You
done.
pay grand a year.
Yeah. No, it's a genuine question.
Yeah, no, but what,
Just answer his question.
1%, I said.
So you just pay 1% more in terms of your wages or in your
Correct,
tax bracket?
1%, so it's 5% now. I
But
pay
what
6.
what would that do? So say we all paid an extra 5%. Okay, they'd have a lot more money, but
it's about where they spend it. as
that's
well,
the thing.
isn't
It's
it?
like you never. It's
Well,
like
they spend
okay,
that
should we
amount
raise
of money.
taxes on something? Maybe okay, maybe that's a good argument. But realistically, it's very hard to track where this stuff's going because. Is money really the problem in
What-
terms of taxes? People get taxed an awful lot.
What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, I would pay an extra 1%, but then there's so many variables to it.
We all would, but then why not pay an extra 20%?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's very
Well,
hard.
You know, 'cause you can't.
No, it's
There's
completely different from 20% and 1%.
Yeah, but what I'm.
No,
But
no,
where
no,
do you
no,
stop?
no,
Where do you?
Why not have all my money?
But what I'm
Tell you
saying,
what.
where do you draw the line? So you're saying you draw the line at 1%. So why don't you donate the money yourself?
No, but it's
Because
like
you can.
saying,
So why not donate it?
if I have somebody giving me the argument saying they have.
But you
enough
want it
money-
legally enshrined that you have to donate that money.
Or why not?
No,
just put
it'd be
towards
nice if
yourself?
everybody did. Obviously, if he put 1% of his money in, it's going
But
to do
why
fuck
doesn't he?
all.
Why didn't he just do that? So you
It is,
should.
isn't it?
But
I
what,
know,
so
you
you
sound
should
like
force.
you're roasting
But what I'm
me.
saying is like, so you should force people to pay more money into things when they don't want it.
Alright, so look at it a different angle.
Why
What
would
would be the
people want-
alternative?
There isn't one.
No,
So
the-
that-
the-
just
I'm
get
not
rid
saying-
of scrap, yeah.
No. I'm saying what's wrong with the current system.
Because you're
Oh,
not fixing
hold
the
up.
issue.
We've
So-
got some
But the
guests.
issue is the issue not more. 3, 2, 1, and we're rolling again. Thank you, welcome. Sorry, Jack. I was just saying, should you essentially force people to pay more money? Because that's what it comes down to, isn't it? I mean, do you feel like the tax system is essentially the government holding a gun to your head and saying you need to pay more money or go to jail?
Well, you don't really have a choice, do you? Like, it's
Yeah, it's
tax,
holding a
that's
gun
how
to your
it is.
head. That's what tax is.
But
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying you'll go to jail if you don't pay it.
The question is where's the tax going? Because obviously we're paying X amount.
That's an organisational
The fact
issue.
is that obviously population's increasing, all that sort of crap. So there's more weight on the NHS and public sector anyway.
Facts.
But where's the money going?
And why would the money solve that?
Why would throwing more money at it solve that?
Do you think it would do any damage
Well,
to it?
you're not. No, but that's.
No, it wouldn't do
you're
any
asking
damage to it, but it's not going to aid the problem. It's like throwing
Will,
people.
will it not help at all?
Okay, Dan. So
No,
you have a problem and you have a leak in the ceiling, right?
Mhm.
Okay. If I employ 6 people to fix the leak and none of them are qualified to do that, I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying you can't throw things at a problem to make it
Yeah.
work.
But you're
It's not gonna
asking
fix
a
it.
question,
Okay.
but you're not actually giving us a
Yeah,
solution.
that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
saying-
No, I'm
so why
not.
won't
My
it?
solution is you're wanting to change it. So the burden of proof is on you telling me why it should be
No,
changed.
no, we didn't
No,
want
but
to
I'm
change
not
it.
saying I
You
want
just
to
said
change
he brought it up.
I knew this
He
would
brought it
happen.
up.
He brought
No,
it
no,
up.
I'm
We didn't
interested.
say we want to
I'm-
change it, but we were saying
knew
we
this would
would be
happen.
for that change if they
Right,
brought
I'll,
it up.
I'll tell you
Well,
what.
if-
So I'll tell you.
If I would be taxed 1% more, I would have no choice.
So-
But why would I want to pay it?
Well, you wouldn't, but you wouldn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Do you not think?
so
do you
the
not
whole,
think-
so you're holding
Yeah,
your gun
but
to
my
my
Chloe.
now we're being
And then what I'm
forced
saying
into
to
a
the question is, would it do more
Yeah.
damage than good? And
Yes.
I would say it would do more
Yes,
good
but having
than damage.
99% of your wages taken away from you would do more good because the government knows how to
Yeah,
spend
no.
your wages better than
Yes,
you do.
but it
Dan.
wouldn't do good.
Why?
It would do good for the government, but it wouldn't do good
So
for
at
the
what
people
point?
that's trying to
But
look
why is it
after
better for me having to pay that and I don't want to? You've just raised a hypothetical whereby you're going. Is it better for the individual or the government? It's not better for me.
No,
because
Yeah,
I don't want
but,
to pay it.
1% is different to 99%. 1% won't affect the individual that much. 99% will kill
Yeah,
all
but they
those
will if it's already
individuals.
20%.
And it's going to be a stark difference, isn't it? Realistically, across the board, you're saying all 1% of money, but you don't know the specifics as to what that 1% is actually going to do for anything.
Yeah, of
You
course.
haven't run the
But
numbers
you
on
wouldn't,
why
if you
1%
gave
would help.
99%, that'd be obviously ridiculous.
I gotta
but
admit-
that'd be way more dangerous because you just give it all-
I'm with them on this.
Yeah.
It's 1%
think
difference to 9.
They're
No, no,
donating.
no,
They're
no,
donating.
My
no,
only thing is
No,
your
I'm not-
argument is completely like
no,
the extreme now, and you're not.
No,
even
no,
giving-
no, no,
You're saying I don't want to pay more tax. Nobody wants to pay tax. It's just how it is.
But why
But
should
you're
why
not
should?
even giving a solution.
No,
to
no, no, no.
Yes,
right,
I am.
hold
I
on,
don't
hold
want to
on.
pay more tax. That's
Yeah,
my
well, that's
solution.
fine. Neither do I.
I know, but I'm gonna
But you feel like I should.
No, I'm
No,
going to
no.
direct you.
But if they brought in an extra
1% more
1%
tax
tax,
will
it's
not
good.
help towards the NHS.
Go on
Right,
then,
so
let him have his.
you got the NHS receive 121 billion pounds per year across the country.
Okay.
The
We'll fact check
biggest
It's a lot of
company.
money.
They get about
You
4%
can fact check.
annually every year in an increase, which is higher than interest rates. All right,
Okay,
about the
yeah.
biggest increase with Bojo that they've had in the last 20 years. So that's a huge amount more. Has it improved the NHS yet? Probably not. The problem comes down to where they put that money. You can do a hell of a lot of stuff with 121 billion pounds.
Yeah, but
You're raising that by 1%, right, is not going to make the
Where's the
NHS
figure
not
even
going to
come
make
from?
you
How much money is
healthier.
1%?
Of
There we
what,
go.
121 billion?
Yeah.
No, but what I
Yeah,
did
what be
was
about just
this.
over 100 million, wouldn't it?
So that's not much money.
Excellent.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, but
You've
then
got to
you're
get that
talking-
over
you're now
6
talking
No,
about where we
you're-
put this money, which
No, no,
comes
no,
on to
no,
a
no. What
debate
my
of who's
point
in
is,
charge
what
of
my
this money,
point is
and then I don't want to get into
1%.
that debate.
1% of 121 billion
Can I
is
just make-
still a
Alright,
microphone. But what I'm saying is, Jack, is that the point is that it's where the money goes that's important. So if you raise everyone else's taxes,
Yeah.
then A, you're going to piss people off. B, it's not necessarily going to make anyone healthier, and it's not necessarily going to improve the services because the money's already there. It's like not enough to make a difference, but also to
Enough to
live.
piss people
No,
off.
I appreciate that, yeah, but where's your argument coming from now? So have
let
you
me
got
just
any
speak.
experience or family members that actually work?
Yeah,
in the
I've got
NHS?
So
some great
your
experiences.
anecdotal arguments don't hold up statistically.
I'm going to give you some great anecdotal
No, it's not even
arguments.
about
as to what
that.
money
mate.
went
It's
in.
about the fact that
It is.
do you have anyone close to you that works in the NHS?
What, like my dad who needs the NHS
Yeah,
to
he-
survive?
Yeah,
Like
and
weekly.
his
Yeah,
dad,
but-
Yeah,
it
but-
would be.
I'm not,
But what I'm saying is, I like the NHS. I want the NHS,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not
but
saying-
I don't want
I'm
to
not
pay
saying
more
you
tax.
don't,
That's
but
all I'm saying.
the fact
Yeah, but that wasn't-
your argument is
What was your
giving
question
more money
again?
won't fix the issue, but you're not even saying what the issue is.
Yeah,
But
but
you-
No,
but
I'm
you
not
haven't
gonna
addressed
fight
the
the
question.
issue.
You haven't addressed the
Well,
question.
what is your question?
No, it's Jason.
No, sorry,
Should
let
we
me
raise
let me
Yeah,
let me.
yeah.
What is your question? And I'll answer it for you
Alright,
now.
so
Don't
giving
change the
more
topic.
money won't solve the issue. With
No,
the
give me
NHS.
your question. What's your question?
My
No,
question
no,
is
no,
what
no,
is the
no,
issue
no,
with
no,
the
no. The original question.
That's
Well,
very
but-
good. Well, you go on
The original
specific.
question was that would you pay 1% more
Yeah.
to the
Your
NHS
argument was
if you
that
were forced
wouldn't-
to?
that wouldn't
And my
fix
argument
anything.
was saying that won't fix any
Can I
current
take it back?
problems.
Can I take it back? What's your question?
What won't it fix? What's the problem?
No, that's not a question.
No,
You
but it's
can't-
like Your argument is saying
I haven't
giving
got
more
one.
money.
I'm saying I don't want to pay more tax.
Yeah.
What is your
And
point
Harry's
why I
saying-
should?
Wait,
Harry's saying
I
giving
tell
more
you
money
what I'm
won't
going to
solve the
introduce,
issue.
right? Because this is something that I think would improve
Yeah.
the podcast, and I'm on it for the first time, so I'm going to improve it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a timer on each segment. So
Okay.
there's only 4 minutes left on this segment.
Right, okay, I'm going to give you a great
Fair
anecdote
enough.
for a few great
Do you want to give me a
anecdotes
question?
for what happens, right? Okay, and this is why there's a few things, and this happens throughout the NHS.
There's
One
4
of the
minutes.
biggest-
I've given them too long.
One of the
Is it
biggest
tinny?
problems with the NHS is mistakes by people, human error. That money isn't going to fix
They've got
human
4-1
error.
now,
Human error is one of the biggest killers across the world in
I've got-
hospitals,
actually, that's a good
US
point.
and the UK. Example, the other week, Annie's dad goes into hospital and needs to have a gallstone, his gallbladder removed and he had his gallbladder removed, and then they found a gallstone because they didn't do a thorough check, so they had to go in and do another operation. When he went in to have the operation, they then asked him, told him to have food in the morning. He said no, he's got an operation. They checked, they go, yeah, you've got an operation. Then another nurse comes in, goes, no, don't worry, have your breakfast, you're not having your operation today. Who comes 10 minutes later? The surgeon, going, we're getting you prepped for your surgery. He goes, I've just eaten. Another example, guy ruined his life, alright, that I know. He had had to have his whole stomach.
Human error, but
Yes.
that's just
Yes, but that's the
part
point.
of
No.
being
One of
human.
the biggest problems in the NHS is human error, and I'm saying that money can't solve that. Proper
No.
training and management can, and
Okay.
organisation.
And how, so can you not put that money into
Yes,
proper
but you've
training and
already got
management?
What's
enough
the
money
question?
to solve it.
Good point.
That's my problem.
What's
That's
the
my
question?
point. Is that money could solve money that they've got could
I
solve
didn't
the
even
problems
give
I'll
you
that
ask
they
you the
have.
question.
You give me
I'll
the
ask the
question.
What was the original
Well, if-
question? So let's go back to the original
There was
question.
no
Well, no,
No,
we'll
no,
do-
no.
we'll
Let's
do around
actually
the
go
room.
back to the original question.
you
So I think
think-
we've gone off
I'm
topic.
trying. Do you think increasing national insurance tax by 1% will improve the
Right,
NHS?
this is how we're going to do this. Harry's going to have 1 minute, I'm going to have 1 minute, you're going to have 1 minute.
I don't
No,
need a
no,
minute.
we've
I
got-
No, I
personally.
don't care.
No, it's fine.
You-
It's our podcast, Dan. We'll time it.
Harry's raised the next topic.
No.
Go
We're
on,
not
say
moving
sorry.
on yet. We're not moving on. This is a good
So
topic.
go
We all
again.
want to have our
Sorry,
say.
Jay. Sorry, Jay. Go. Ask me the question.
We're
again.
talking about it. If you want to leave, you can't. Go on.
Go on,
Wait,
ask the
Taylor's
question.
calling.
Dad,
Oh, shout out Taylor. You right, mate?
can we just do this topic, bro?
Taylor's on.
Taylor, how are we doing, buddy?
Dan, you complained that the topics weren't all over
Dan, Taylor,
the
you're
place.
actually live on the podcast.
Taylor, you're on literally live on a podcast right now.
Tell Taylor I'll text him and say we'll meet in a bit. About 3.
Yeah, so what, are you still about later?
Yeah, we're coming Southall shortly.
Am
Once
I
this
actually near
podcast is over.
On a live
Sounds good,
broadcast
okay, I'll
going
see
on the
you,
internet.
see you soon.
So, mate, I'll ring
To be
you.
fair,
I'll ring you in a
That's
bit.
a good topic.
Yeah, no worries.
No, it's a fine topic.
Do you know why? Because there's
Divisive,
never
aren't
going to
they?
be a middle ground. That's why it's a good topic.
Mate,
Sorry.
I'm not going to lie. I'm more than happy to try and find common ground with you guys. But the problem is, everyone's saying you should pay. Would it help? Listen, would it help if more money went to the NHS? Maybe. Why should I be
I
forced
think
to
there's
pay?
elements to
No,
why
no,
it
why
wouldn't.
does no one answer my question?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Why does no one
Point.
answer my question? I'm saying, would more money help towards the NHS? Maybe. Why should I be forced to pay it? That's the real question I'm asking. Why should I be forced with a gun against my head saying pay
Well, you
more
haven't
money?
got a gun against your head.
Yes, that's what government. That's what taxation is. If you don't pay it, you go to jail.
That's
That-
true.
That's
Yeah,
taxation.
alright.
TV
So why does no one answer my question? Why should I pay it? Why, if you want to add more or do more for your community, why don't you guys go invest in private charities? Why don't you set up a charity? Why don't you work with a foundation? And why don't you try and solve the problem? Why should I be forced to pay something when I already pay, right?
Do you not think though, as a group of people, we should always pay that a little bit more? We could pay that a little
Why
bit
don't
more.
you? Why should I?
He's saying he would.
Because I can't.
No,
pay
he's
you.
not.
No,
Jake,
I can't.
he's not going to
I'll
set
tell you
up
why.
a direct debit to the NHS
I'll tell
every
you
month.
why.
is he?
I'll tell you
Why
why.
should I?
I'll tell you why,
You
'cause
have
I-
different values when it comes to that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
I can't.
No,
pay-
now you're saying you're a better person
Well,
because
no,
you
I'm
No,
not
no,
saying
no,
that.
that's
You're
not at all.
assuming
That's
that
not at
I'm
all.
saying
But
that.
That's
what
not
else
at all.
could that mean? If we have different values,
So that's how
where
you're
are-
we have
taking it
different
to me.
values, that's
That's
it.
your.
But what
That's
I'm
it.
saying,
That's it.
but you're not answering my question. Why should I pay more? Tell me a reason.
I'm not telling you to pay.
But that's the
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Why
we're not.
should I?
Joe's a piece of shit then.
No, but
You can ask
The
you can ask
problem
that
is
question.
you're
You can
asking
ask
a
that
logical-
question.
you're saying
You
you,
can- yeah,
should
but
pay
Joe-
more. But why?
But you can ask that question to anything about tax.
But why not answer it?
Because I
That's the
haven't
way
got an
it is.
answer
You pay
for
tax.
it.
That's
Yes,
it.
so I'm
I haven't
saying
got
I
an
don't want to
answer
pay
for
more. Therefore,
Okay.
why
Right.
give me? Put the burden.
Okay.
You are aware
All
of
right.
this.
Well,
Let me
let's
finish.
just-
Let me
We've
finish.
got-
Let's
we've
just
got a
hope it-
solution.
Let me
Let's
finish.
just hope it
Let me
doesn't
finish. Sorry, let me
happen.
finish.
Pay more.
In
There
let
you
me
go.
finish. Yeah, you can, but you don't.
Yeah.
You don't pay anything extra, and you can pretend that you want to, but you
Because-
don't. Also, let me finish. The burden of proof in an argument is on the individual who is proposing the statement. It's not for me to provide proof. You're saying you guys should pay more. Tax would be better if it's at 1%. Okay.
I'm not saying you should pay more. I'm saying if they introduced it, I wouldn't be against it.
What did
That's all I'm
what did
saying.
the viewers think?
Okay.
Yeah.
What do the viewers think?
That's fair though, is it not?
What's that?
That I'm not saying you should
You
have
wouldn't
to.
have a choice.
but-
You wouldn't have a
yeah,
choice.
I know, but
Okay,
I'm
if the government
against
said
it.
there's another 20% hike on sales tax, I'd have to pay it.
That's
I
quite
wouldn't want
interesting
it.
though. What do the viewers think? Maybe they'll comment.
Okay, answer this question. Answer this question. Answer this question. If there was another 20% hike on sales tax, right, I would have no choice to pay
Yeah.
that.
You
Why
are
would I want? But what? That's not an argument. Saying you would have no choice isn't an argument. Give me, but give me viable reasons why I should. That's the question.
Because you've been forced to.
That's not an argument.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's like
that's
Harry
what-
saying more money won't fix the issue. What's the major issue in the NHS now?
But the burden of proof is on for you to
No,
tell me
I'm
what
going
it
to
is.
tell you what the major
Okay,
issue
tell me
is.
what it is.
Staffing. What does staffing cost? Money.
Okay, so
More money's
why
gonna
don't
cost
you
more
donate
staff.
more money?
Because his money will not affect. Whereas if you
Why
put
not?
it-
If everyone was like
Mate, 'cause he
Jack and
hasn't
everyone
got-
donated,
Everyone was like
He
it, but everyone's
but
not
you
like it.
don't. But you don't donate extra.
I'll do it now. I don't give a
Okay,
shit.
do it.
Alright.
Live on air.
But isn't that the
Right,
government's
do it.
role?
Why?
To,
I'll
like, to
happily
look
do
after
it.
the people.
If Jack
Because
wants
the
to
people
do
can't
it,
look
You
after
can't say to
themselves.
me you don't want to do it unless you
disagree.
actually donate something
You
yourself.
I disagree.
Because I'm saying I would
But they
willingly
do,
do it.
sort
he
of,
hasn't
not
in his
necessarily on a whole.
They do, but then
You've never
what's
done it in
the
your life.
problem arises when
Your
the
argument's
government
completely
feel that
invalid.
one thing
No,
is
it's not.
better for the
It is.
people?
You've never,
No, no,
you've
no,
never.
no,
You're
no,
asking
no,
the
no.
most generalised question saying, why should I do it?
So if a millionaire pays more in tax, right, he pays more than you to the NHS. So, but that's fair.
Keith.
But why are you saying then everyone should pay more? Like why? But why? I just don't get like why I should. Like surely if I earn more money, I'm paying more anyway. Like if I have a really good year and make more money, I'm giving more to the NHS than anyone else would anyway.
Well, I said the other day, I got berated
this
for
is-
having private healthcare.
Yeah, there we go.
And I
I'm
was
on
like,
private
well,
healthcare,
well,
but my dad's
well
not.
why are you berating me? Because I'm going to use private healthcare instead of the NHS, so that's one less person who's
Yeah,
using it.
and you're
So,
paying for it.
Yeah, so why am I being berated? I actually did get berated for using private healthcare. I was called a snob. I was like, well,
So
I'm
why
literally
should
one
Jay
less
pay?
person.
So hold on as well. If Jay is taking the burden off the NHS and paying for his own healthcare, why should he be forced to pay more for the NHS?
Okay, I think it's a very interesting topic, and we're not going to get to the bottom of it.
No,
Yeah,
just
of course,
answer
you
it.
can
Yeah.
never get there.
But it was interesting. I'm saying that though, we haven't answered this question.
Yeah, why does no one answer it?
I don't
course
think you
we
can
haven't.
answer it.
You
You
can
can,
never
you-
answer his question. Now you always say that.
I
about
can't
Joe's
answer
dad.
it because
You said that
Why?
about
Here's
me.
the question. Here's the question. Okay, here's the question.
Doesn't
For
he
everyone.
always say-
He shouldn't be
Because
forced.
Let me
as soon as I
rephrase
say
it.
we have different values, he assumes I'm taking
It's not about
again.
values. It's not about
That's
values.
it. That is what it is.
But you've questioned my values, so I've questioned yours. If you think everyone should pay more, you should pay more. Secondly, just going back to what Jay said, if Jason is taking the burden off the NHS, okay, right, he's not going on the NHS, he's fronting his own healthcare, right? Why should he be forced to pay more? Tell
Because
me.
he's part of
Technically,
society. If he doesn't want to pay, he can go elsewhere.
No, he goes to jail.
Well, you can go elsewhere if he's.
if everyone pays.
Yeah, but
He
that's
doesn't wanna
like,
pay his
okay. So
taxes.
if you, okay. So if Jay, but that's what happens. If Jay doesn't pay his taxes, he goes to jail. What I'm saying is, your argument is not you have to do it, so do it. It should be why should we do it? An argument is
Because
based on.
and we've said that because we think it would be beneficial to the.
And
NHS.
I'm saying, if you think it would be beneficial, why aren't you guys donating your own money extra?
And I've told you because my amount of money that I would
So
donate.
you
which,
want
as
everyone
much as
else
I
to
would
foot
love-
your
If I
bill?
was a billionaire, then I would be donating.
Why
to
aren't
these
you a
sorts of
billionaire?
things. Because I'm
Because he's
not.
not earning enough money.
Okay, why doesn't he want to be a billionaire?
Well, I'd
didn't
love to
say
be.
you
I'd
wanted
love
to.
to be a billionaire.
What I'm saying is, why should
No,
someone
no,
who's
no.
worked?
Can we change this? Because
It just
because
doesn't make
your
sense.
argument and my arguments are totally different, and we're not actually getting anywhere.
Okay, well, answer my question. Why
Well, it's
should?
all answer my question.
But what's your
You answer
question?
my question. Why aren't you a billionaire?
Huh?
Why aren't you a
Because I
billionaire?
haven't got the money yet.
Yeah, well, that's my answer.
But what I'm saying, but that's not the question. My point on the billionaire
It
was
wasn't
people
me.
who are billionaires are going to pay more
Right.
money. So why should they pick up your bills? Because they've worked harder.
They're not picking
He is
it.
right. We've got to switch topic.
You are. They're picking up your bills because you can't afford it, so they afford it for
Okay.
you.
Can I answer the next question? then?
Someone with more money is picking up your bills, whether you like to hear it or not. Okay, someone's picking up my bill, someone's picking up Harry's bill. Everyone's picking up each
But
other's
we
bill.
are
That's
con-
society.
Yeah, but-
That's a fair
But
functioning
it's not.
society.
It's not that they're not totally picking up my bill.
They are.
They're
Let
picking
me
up a
put a
percentage.
hypothetical.
Yes,
So,
most of it.
So
Yeah.
hold up.
30%. What was it? How much in the top
And again-
bracket pay for the top sector? Was it 33 or 36?
But again, that's about
Extremely high,
values
it's
and
like
more where you
50%
think people
almost.
how they should pay the money and taxes.
But
It's a
that's
totally
just
different.
a natural fact when it
It's a
comes
totally
to
different
percentages
debate
and
from the
tax.
question.
Yes, and I'm saying
Yeah, but
why
Joe-
should
Joe,
everyone be
you have-
forced to pay
you
more
have
as a
got to
blanket
admit-
cost?
You have got
If
to
you're
admit
talking
we've got onto a
percentages.
totally different debate now. The question was, would it be beneficial?
No, it's a philosophical, but it comes down to a philosophical
Yeah, it is
debate.
philosophical.
And then you're all going to
That's
have
right,
different
put
views.
it.
It's going to be.
Okay, so what's the point in talking about if we're going to have different views? We're always going to have
No,
different
it's
views.
Yes, no, but I mean, we've totally gone away from the question now.
No,
No,
the question
no,
is,
no, no,
why should Jay, if he's... Look, why don't you just answer, and don't say, because he has to be forced to. Give me your opinion. Give me your opinion. Why should Jay, if he's taking the burden off the NHS, right, he's not on it, he's fronting his own healthcare, be forced by the government to pay more to an NHS service he's not using when he's already giving his contribution and share?
The actual answer is he shouldn't really.
No, that's the fucking
But
fact.
on
On
a moral view, I'll happily do it.
He goes like this
No,
3
it's
minutes ago,
like-
he turns and he goes,
No, but it's
on
just
these
like
guys' side.
you don't want to take any
Yeah,
responsibility for other
he's
people.
on our
but the
side
fact
now.
is-
On any
the fact
side.
is, you can afford to if you're wealthy.
Right.
The sheer amount of wealth these people have, you have no even. It doesn't even reflect. You can't even.
Oh,
imagine
because I
the
can't
amount of money.
comprehend statistics. Okay.
No, you can't comprehend the sheer amount of wealth somebody has.
So why should everyone be forced to pay more? Shouldn't you just be taxing those people? If you've just made an argument going, you can't comprehend how much wealth people have, should you not be taxing those people, not everyone?
Regardless of your argument
It was
now,
about a
Joe.
1% increase though.
Yes, but that's a blanket cost to everyone. Why are you
And it
look at your
starts
own
at
point?
1%,
You've
doesn't
just said.
Yeah, obviously, but that's not the question.
Yeah, but
though.
they also that's what
We're
I'm
talking
Lisa,
about
this is
high-
where
we're
I'm
also
also
talking
arguing
about
about
hypothetical.
that.
And that's all you know.
Bro,
Richard Branson ain't using
bro,
the SNHS.
Jack's just made a good point. Jack's just made a good point. Jack literally just said you cannot comprehend the people with this sheer wealth, right? Great. Why are we taxing everyone and not them? Answer that.
Yeah, let's go on to
Well, because we have a
Oh, no,
conservative government. So
That's it. That's
We still
right.
get taxed more.
No, we've been on it 11
Right,
minutes
okay.
now.
you
This
get
brings-
too emotional.
Dan,
with
It's
shit.
fine, it's
It's
fine.
fine. We
Right,
relax
okay.
emotions.
I've got a
Philosophical
hypothetical
discussion.
for you. I got a hypothetical, so what's the tax bandwidth at the minute? 12.5 grand that you get. Right?
Yes, correct.
It's gone up recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, what if they lowered that to 9.5? So everyone earning between 9.5 and 12.5 would have to pay towards their NHS more, but only them. Would you be up for that?
Say that again.
People earning.
So your
between
tax band
9
at the
and
minute, you
12.5
get
grand.
12.5 grand tax free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if it was 9.5. So that's 3 grand.
Yeah.
He's basically saying you're going to pay more tax.
So people on lower earnings
Income.
would then have to pay higher tax. Like they would have to pay tax from 9.5 and up,
Instead
but
of 12.
between
But what's the
9.5
basis
and
for- what's the
12,
basis for tax
they
though?
would only put it towards the NHS
what is it?
instead of putting
but
it
what is
instead
the
of
tax?
everyone
What's
putting
the
it on.
tax? It's a percentage.
What's the tax? It's the same as normal.
It's a good point. What's
No, but
he?
it's a percentage. So
Yes,
if
but
you're
it's the
earning
same as
9
normal.
grand, you pay
20%.
less.
No, it's 20%, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a percentage. So it's
Yeah,
scalable
so it's
with how much you
20%.
earn.
Yeah, so it's 20%.
Exactly, yeah.
I said 20%.
No, but I'm
For
saying
9
what
grand.
I'm saying is you're saying you're taxing
Yeah,
people that earn less, more.
Yeah, I'm saying,
But it's
would
a
you be up
percentage.
I knew it
for
was gonna happen,
taxing
that's
people
why I
on
did
lower
it.
wages,
Let everyone speak.
lowering the bandwidth, right? So lowering the bandwidth so that people on the lower end of earners would have to pay, but all that money goes towards the NHS.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that, to be honest.
Go back to that point. I don't understand. Basically, to end where I'm coming from, I don't understand why you wouldn't, like, you've just made a point going, you cannot comprehend the amount of wealth people have and they're hoarding wealth. Fair point. No, fair
You
point.
didn't say they're holding wealth.
No, but they are hoarding wealth. You know, people. Your point is that people hoard wealth and you can't comprehend the scale of the wealth. I get that. I agree with you. There's a lot of wealth that's been hoarded or whatnot that isn't being utilised. Okay, so why should, this is just a quick question, why should everyone be forced to 1% and you not target people with the more money where it would be more beneficial and you get more for it?
Because then it's an attack on a certain set
Oh,
of
but it's
people.
an attack on me at the moment because I'm paying 1% extra.
No, but
No,
it's,
everyone's paying
but
1% extra,
everyone.
not just you.
Everyone.
So you don't believe in tax brackets then? Should we have a blanket 50% for everyone
That's
at the
not
top and
what
the
we're
bottom?
talking about.
Yes, it is.
That's
It's
a
the poll
that's
tax
a
argument.
That's a totally different subject, though.
You
'cause
can't.
Yeah, but it doesn't
It's a
follow the same,
it
does
ties in philosophically.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question, though, because we are talking a hypothetical. We are talking massively hypothetically.
So
here.
stay on them.
Yeah.
And I've just asked
Yeah, but
you.
I have. You've gone off it. I've said
No,
it's a
no,
1%
just
increase.
flex into
It's a,
other things.
no, I'm not though.
Yeah, yeah.
You are.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying it's
because
fine
you
that
are.
it does.
The question was, is it if a 1% tax increase for everybody in the UK?
Yes.
Is it beneficial to the NHS?
Yes.
My answer is yes.
So it's a 50% one, but I don't want to pay 1%.
Yeah,
and if
that's
you want to
fine.
pay,
That's fine.
Why?
Why should I pay
So
tax?
you should actually answer the question.
No,
You-
I already
so
pay
you think
enough.
no.
No, but that's what
okay.
he's saying.
Okay, so you think no.
so why are you forcing me to pay
you-
more? Where's
Why-
your
wait,
premise?
wait,
Why
wait,
do you
wait, wait,
why
wait,
do
but
you
that's
feel
not the
entitled?
question.
Why would it?
Why
Why
do you
would it?
feel
Jason,
entitled? Why
imagine
did you
it this,
answer that?
Imagine it this, right? Imagine this. Jason's the government, and he said, we're having a 1% tax increase. Do
Yeah.
you think it's beneficial?
That'd be good, wouldn't
We've
it?
gone yes, you've gone no.
Boring.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about why.
Yeah. And you've talked about why. You've brought in to loads of different
He said the
arguments.
reason why is it's beneficial for the NHS.
You're not answering the question.
You guys have not said why it would benefit anything.
No, but you're not saying why it wouldn't either.
No,
No,
you
I am.
I'm
No, I am.
I said
You're saying it would
staffing.
benefit the
Money
question.
equals more staff.
Yeah.
That's what I
Okay,
said.
you're saying
So you get throwing staff
yeah,
at a problem will solve.
Yes, my
Okay.
mum
It
works
wouldn't solve-
ridiculous hours.
it
Yeah.
She's staff.
help.
She's
So-
understaffed
it would
on a
help.
ward.
Right,
That's
okay,
it.
so-
Fact.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
your
What
mum's
would you
understaffed
say?
on
She's
ward. So
wet.
why should I pay for your mum? Why should I pay more towards your mum?
Why should you pay more? You're not paying more for my mum.
No, I am. If I get taxed 1%, no.
You're paying to put somebody else on the ward
So
to
you're
help.
putting less
to
pressure
help-
on her.
Yeah.
So, but
So
I'm not
she's
gonna
less
lie.
likely-
It's fair.
So she's less likely to make mistakes.
It's her choice.
Hold up. But
It's
the
not.
problem still isn't
You don't
money.
have staff.
Hold on.
Jack, the
It's
problem
It's
your
your
still
mum's
isn't
choice to
money.
work in the
You don't
NHS.
have staff.
It's your mum's choice.
Yeah,
but hold up.
No buts. It's her choice.
Mate, your argument
Guys.
is completely.
No, it's
The
not.
problem
Is it her
still
choice? Is it
isn't
your mum's
money.
She
choice?
has to work. She needs money. Shop.
Why didn't she work in the NHS?
Because well,
She wants to
gonna
help.
She
do?
wants to work. She wants to help.
Yeah, she wants to help.
So why should I pay more for her to do what she
You're
wants
not
to
paying
do?
more for her. You're supporting her.
Because it's
Helping her
helping you
That's
out
the
and helping
fucking
your
argument.
family out.
Why? Why if I'm on private healthcare?
What? Yeah,
What if
but
I'm on private healthcare?
are you?
Yes,
We have
I
different
am.
values.
What, your
That's
whole
it.
family?
Regardless.
No, he is.
And
No,
now
no,
I'm
no,
sticking
no,
with
no,
the
you
horrible
are.
person, but I'm not.
Guys,
No,
staff-
it doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't even matter. Staffing isn't even a finance issue. This is a training issue. You haven't got the people in the training. You haven't got the right people.
There's
And I know
loads
that.
of
I know
people.
that. I know that because they import nurses and they import technicians from all over Europe, and they pay for them. And then they pay for them, and they're not exactly very good because they don't speak the same language, so they find it difficult in this scenario. The problem isn't money. The problem is that they can't afford the staff. The problem is that you don't have good staff.
I think money
trained
is a
up
problem,
here.
but I think
That's
there's a
not
lot of
money.
other problems,
No.
mate. Which is why we're never
Okay.
going to solve it.
Okay.
But
Should we
I
call-
look
should
at
we
my,
call it out?
yeah, we are going to call it. What's the name? I saw a stat that 1.7 billion jobs will be taken by autonomy, and then we saw the other day that surgeon, that someone being operated on by a robot.
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable being operated on by a robot?
Apparently, isn't the success rate astronomically higher though, with working with a robot?
That's a good answer.
Yeah. No. I'm saying you wouldn't, but in the same way as if you knew your flight was being controlled,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be comfortable. And
Well,
that's
Dan,
why
imagine
going
this,
into
right?
study.
Prefer it.
You're going to be told today the robot's going to operate on you. How do you feel about that?
Well, if it happened today.
No. Yeah. So okay. Tell
Who's
me.
your doctor? Or
How'd
Michael
you feel?
Burke.
How'd
Well,
you
what,
feel?
what,
Or
what,
Michael
what,
Burke.
Shout out Michael Burke.
what,
Shout
are
out
they
Michael
doing?
Burke.
What are they doing? What are they operating on?
You broke your leg, mate,
Yeah.
That's not that bad. You won't be able to run.
and
Well,
you
an
need some.
operation
You need
might
a
be
hairline
fixed.
fracture.
They're
You're gonna
removing
sit
a
down.
hernia. They're sorting a hernia
And
out.
am I
System is secret,
the
my
first operation that this robot's done?
You are a pilot for it, yes.
Then no, I'd rather have the human.
I just wouldn't care.
Well, I wouldn't care either. I'd want my legs.
That's a good
fixed.
question. That's a good question.
But I'd rather not be the pilot. Because a lot of people are breaking their legs, and I know you came out fucked after it, but most people have survived all right. Most people have come out with both legs the same leg.
Yeah, but in the future, we
Been able to-
will be being operated on by robots.
yeah, and if
Yeah,
it
most
works,
likely.
if it works, then fine.
Yeah, absolutely. But they already use like in the sense that almost bionic.
And if it costs less, and we can put that 1%
you know,
towards
machinery,
anything else,
there's tiny branch. The tiny branch
You
is something doing
donate
it
1%.
autonomously, isn't it?
If you're that bothered.
Anyway,
But anyway,
what do you think?
Yeah, I'd be fine with it in the future. I think at the minute what you've got doctors operating with machinery that's probably on the borderline between autonomy. The only difference is that the decision isn't made with the machine tool or robot. It's made by the doctor at the minute.
Yeah,
So
it's not
just-
truly autonomous in
yeah,
that
so
sense.
it's
It's
just-
manually
to be
governed.
fair-
It's just passing that.
Yeah.
To be fair, as a person who works like in manufacturing, technically, seeing autonomy is scary sometimes.
It is scary, mate.
The odds are you've got human error involved in autonomy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
the setup
Yeah.
is purely driven by a human anyway, so you're going to have that
Well,
error.
which
Yeah.
is why
The
we want to
difference
be
is,
the
it's
pilot.
like when you watch a machine manufacture something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't think, oh, I shouldn't go this way.
No,
It's
it
programmed
doesn't
and it
identify
does
the
it.
error.
Yeah.
Do you
And
know
it
what
just
the,
goes.
Do you know what the safest job is? Safest job from being automised or whatever it is.
Software engineering.
I don't, mate.
No, it isn't. Of course it's not. Think about it. What, do you know what the safest job is?
Lawyer.
Engineering.
Teaching.
No, it's
That
really
was-
not. No.
I disagree with that.
That's endangered massively.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
you,
if you
that,
have-
that was on the BBC.
I'm
That
saying,
was-
I'm saying you have.
it's
if
not
you-
live. That's what it was, mate.
No, but
Teaching isn't the safest job.
I
It can be
agree with Jack.
organised easily.
Even when we were
It
back
can
at
virtual
school,
learning,
using
No,
keyboards,
I
interactive
tell you
studies,
what. Let
yeah,
me go on it then. It was the idea that if a kid kicks off, how's a robot going to deal with that? A like a robot.
Oh no, you're
manage.
talking about the classroom specific.
Correct, correct. Yes,
Not
that's why I needed to
educational.
finish.
Oh no, you need a
Social-
human,
That was
human
that.
social
Yes,
learning.
that's why
That's
it's the
education,
safest job.
But as an educational program,
Yeah.
no. But as an interactive,
Autonomy scares me. My job's fucked. There will be robots that will write my code eventually.
Yeah.
Way better than I will, and
Well,
I'll be gone in
this is
20
the thing,
years.
You'll still get
this
paid,
is
right?
why I
Yeah.
support this is why I support autonomy, and I'll tell you why. Because what you'll find is that you'll slowly start to eradicate the middle class, and what people start to do is start to free up. Their time will free up because other things will be automated. Their jobs will be automated. They can do other things like start cracking off a podcast when they want to, but then that will become more saturated.
It's been a fucking tense one, hasn't
Shout
Will it
out.
not take away from
Shout out, hey.
will it
Shout
not
out,
take
hey.
away from less
Hey,
skilled
welcome.
workers?
Yeah,
who
so
don't
that's
have
the
job-
alternative. Is that then it will push other people down, so they'll have to
and
work.
it's just
on
going to
making
create a bigger
machinery.
divide. It's going to create a
Slightly,
bigger
but
divide.
then making high-tech machines is also extremely complicated. So then you've got high-tier kind of manufacturing roles.
Will we
Do you
have
see
a
what I
huge
mean?
But not
unemployment gap?
everybody's
though?
going to be able to fulfil those
You'll have a
high-tier
different culture. It
manufacturing
won't look
roles.
like anything
You
you've
what,
ever
sorry?
seen.
Not everybody's going to be able to work in those higher
No,
tier manufacturing
exactly,
roles.
yeah.
So
But
then
you're
you're going to
also-
you just create
No,
my
no.
reason for
No,
it.
but if
The
your
device
resources
is-
are
I
covered,
think it-
if your resources are covered, you will just have more free time.
No,
For
but I
example,
think-
if you can automate, sorry, Jay,
Who,
if you
who
can,
are we talking about though? Who would have free
not
time?
no the middle class, there'll be a shrinking middle class because those jobs would be enabled
Yeah.
by machines
Isn't
or
that
whatnot.
going
They'll
to get
still
drive
be
What
by
about
the
even
bigger
the
divide?
jobs?
though?
What
But
about
if
the
the
lower,
machines
what
could
about the
st-
lower class?
Well, they'll
It's going to be
realistically.
even less jobs.
Yeah, so if
to
you
get.
have don't you have a
No,
growing
the
middle? Sorry.
likely is that they'll get pushed up because you'll have a split
Is it
between.
though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
gener-
like, this is
generally
always
people
the
are-
thing. It's like
it's
think
dependent
about
on
it.
yourself.
You've had the argument since the Industrial Revolution. We've got more population now and more machinery and more jobs than ever.
More
Like
automation.
and like so the whole idea that the machinery are going to take jobs. It's not a real like argument when anyone
No,
thinks
but
about it.
the-
Actually,
the
frees
reality is
everyone
everyone's
up.
going to have to get
Yeah.
educated though. That's the fact because you're not going to have a lower class.
Yeah, but
because
what
you're
it
gonna
does,
drive-
yeah.
It's another one, Jack.
You're potentially just going to drive a bigger divide between upper and lower class.
No, you're going to push people into skilled jobs.
You get, yeah.
You're going to have to because the unskilled labour will be taken over. So you'd have to
Well,
push
that's the
people.
issue, yeah.
Yeah, but there's not an issue with
It's not
pushing people into skilled jobs.
It's not my interest.
If you
Forcing
bet-
them, forcing people to better themselves into a skill or a profession because there is no longer an opportunity for them to not do that. Isn't
But
that
some
bad?
people don't have the literal.
I agree. They
capability
don't have
to
the
do that.
physical
No,
capabilities.
I agree.
That's
But then
fact.
there'll be
But they
jobs.
would be well. They
Very
would be
political
still.
today, innit?
They would still be
It's
supported
very
on the state.
political
You'd hope.
today.
Mm.
Which
It
isn't
wouldn't.
bad.
It wouldn't debilitate welfare, Jack.
Yeah.
I'd hope it would still. You'd still have your
To be
welfare.
honest, me personally, I think it'd drive a bigger divide between upper
Yeah,
and lower
I
class.
agree with you.
Personally,
Okay.
because
I don't think
you
that'd be a
genuinely
bad
have.
thing, yeah.
You don't contemplate sometimes that genuinely people genetically aren't as gifted and
No, I
potentially
do.
not
I
as
do,
skilled
yeah,
and can't
No,
be educated
I
to be
do.
as skilled.
Your points are interesting,
100%,
Jack.
I do, but I don't think
And
that's
you
a bad
can't
thing
say
though, because you're taking
I'm
the
gonna push
burden that they will have to
giving
work on them.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
going to
taking
push
that
Roger
burden
down the
away
road
from
to
them.
go into engineering, but he doesn't have the actual capability to do
But this is one.
mathematics side of it
But
or
I'm
the
but-
physics side of it.
But
He
the,
can't do
the,
it.
well, the
Where's he
welfare,
then?
the welfare wouldn't be detached as a result. Surely, you'd still have your welfare state, which would aid individuals who weren't able to fulfil certain functions.
Think
It
about
wouldn't necessarily debilitate the whole state welfare program. You'd hope, just because more jobs. Because
Yeah, but the reality then is you're going to have more people.
Mm.
You're basically increasing the net
Right,
size
I get what you're saying.
of people that are on
Yeah.
benefits then because they just literally don't have the capability to
Possibly,
educate themselves.
possibly, but you've still got like if you think about how McDonald's works, like at one point machines and factories will probably just get to the point like that. You'll have people on doing tiny specific jobs that they can comprehend.
But
whereas
have you
others can't.
seen?
And
Have
it
you
would just
been?
go like that?
Have you been to a site that manufactures?
Yeah.
So you've seen 4 machines and one person watching all 4 machines.
Yeah, my dad's warehouse.
Yeah,
There's-
exactly.
there's
So
loads
the
of
reality
people.
is now you're getting rid of 4 jobs for 1 job. That's how it is.
No,
At
you're
the
not though,
moment.
and I'll tell you why you're not.
you're not at all actually in terms
Great,
of the
great
yeah.
example. So you got obviously my dad's place is packing sweets. We've got a machine now that packs all the sweets. What does that allow you to do? You got 4 extra people that you can put into another job to make.
You can
it
push
faster.
them into high skill.
Oh,
So, sorry, just you go. No, let me.
Only
Sorry,
if
actually.
only if you've got only if you want the skilled workers that you've got there that were doing that
People
job.
want to grow
that-
their businesses.
They're low skilled workers. So now you're saying, right, let's push them onto a higher skilled job.
Yeah.
So you introduce a higher skilled job and then you go, don't need those.
Well,
For
you would-
low skilled workers, because I've got now a high skilled job, they can't do it because they're
Yeah,
low
Right,
skilled.
that's a
Yeah,
fair-
So
that's a
you've
very
taken
fair
away
point.
the four
Yeah,
lower
That's a
skilled
very good
workers,
point.
and
Would-
you've just
what-
gone push you to a side because now
You're
I can
redundant
make
now, that's
you're
it.
redundant.
No,
People
don't work like that in
People
business,
also overestimate machines.
Oh,
And
I
take
know,
that,
and we
yeah.
are talking on a.
Can I add to that point? Because that's
Yeah.
a really good point, I think, what Dan just said. And what I would say is this. People underestimate in businesses, say it's even a small to medium-sized business, and you had those implemented, the employee would 100% prefer, even if it was an unskilled worker who'd been working in the factory, to push them into that high position because they know how things work and they'd want to train them.
Yeah.
And
That's why-
trust me, you want the person who'd been working
So I
there to
agree
move
with you.
into that role.
If you're going to
if
push
possible.
on people
Yeah.
within the
Yeah,
job
yeah, yeah.
in the work,
Unless they weren't
and you
able
even
to.
get maybe if we could even
Yeah.
introduce funding for those people to
Yeah,
push
yeah,
them
yeah,
on
yeah.
and have different skill sets and everything like that.
Grants
that's
or
perfect.
whatnot, yeah.
But I would say the likelihood with most of these jobs is
Yeah.
you'd be getting rid of the base level, the low earners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd have people
Put
that
the machines in there,
genuinely-
and then
Yeah.
you'd be introducing high tech
And then you'd have,
technicians.
and then you'd,
That's my
yeah,
opinion.
so you'd
No,
have people that
actually, and
genuinely, it's not that they don't want to, it's that they can't.
No, and I'll tell you a few
Fulfill
other
the
things
role
as well.
anymore.
So some of the highest paid staff at my dad's place were the ones that were kind of with the general workers because they were getting paid by the
Yeah.
hour. They were there more, they were longer, they were doing more work. They were technically getting paid more. You got that. Also, machines, they don't take someone's job. They take up one job of many. Sell it automated
Okay.
box.
And
packer,
again, I'll
sell
make
it
another
tape,
point.
Yeah.
But
So that-
wrapper, do you know
this-
what I mean? It's just freeing up
I
time.
know, but this
to
is-
get
this
things
is
done
no
faster
dis-
and
yeah.
bringing more
Yeah,
money.
but
This
what's
is
the
no
key
dis-
thing for business is profit.
Yeah, this is no
Yeah,
disrespect to
you've
your
got to
dad,
get money.
right?
To
People
reinvest,
cost-
to aid
cost-
growth.
People cost money.
Yes, but
Yeah,
people
they do.
people are turnover as well.
Yeah,
No,
but
but
then
if you
a
could
growing
get a machine
business.
that
Okay,
you could pay
yeah.
annually $1,000.
But they're not then going to
sort
pocket
of
that money and fuck off.
calibrate
They're
it.
gonna
Yeah,
reinvest
So
so
it.
that's the
Okay,
case.
sorry, on
Why
your
does
point.
my dad's business now arguably turn over more every year, but also has more staff and more machinery
Because
every
it's a bigger
single year?
company.
But
Exactly.
it is.
That's
Because
the
it gets
point.
reinvested.
It's
They don't
growing and
pocket the
growing.
wealth.
And
The
it's-
profits don't get pocketed.
That's the point.
They go back
you got
into
to you got to
business.
think who's buying the machines. They're expensive. They're high tier companies.
The amount of people
The
that make
smaller
them.
they grow, they grow,
I'm
they
gonna-
grow. So
I'm
these
pissed.
people just go background and they go on to that.
Interesting.
And you're also saying people like it's one person. It's a collective of people that we're
No,
assigning a
but
personality
Harry,
to.
your sort of the ideal situation for you is the fact that you're going to free somebody's time up to do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Push
lie.
them
Why
into
do
a
why do
higher
we
skilled
why do we
job.
celebrate unskilled jobs?
I'm not celebrating them.
Yeah, you are.
I'm saying
Why is it
they're
a
just
good
a natural
thing?
fact
Yeah.
that they're
But why-
there.
but why is it
But
good?
but your attitude is like you don't want to cater for the fact that people.
Oh, what
are
the people I
genuinely-
employ? Yeah. So the people I employ, I'm not catering for
You're
them.
taking this personally now.
It is
yes,
personal.
you employ people. Fair enough. Well done. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what?
It's like I'm not even taking a dig at you. I'm saying for a fact, yeah, that you're saying now. Ideally, you're pushing these people into new jobs, yeah, higher skilled jobs, but you're not catering for the fact that potentially these people don't have the capability, literally, to do this.
That's a
high skilled
doomsday
job.
solution.
Where does that person
Some
go?
of them don't. However,
No, but I'm
you've got to
prepping for it.
appreciate.
Some
You've got to
Because I'd rather
appreciate.
cater
You've got
for
to
them.
appreciate how slow this is. You've got to appreciate how slow.
Yes,
the
it's not like that. It's not
process
gonna, look. Can I give you one example? Right. So if there's a figure in a box, I'm never going to be able to afford a robot that's going to pack that, identify what that is, put that in a blister, then send it out the door. I'm never going to be able to afford that because the machinery that'll be able to do that isn't even invented, and it'd be millions to even invest into sort. Right. Okay. This is not an overnight thing. This happens gradually over time and time and time, right? And organically, people move into different jobs, and the culture is completely reshaped to enable that. It's not going to be I'm a good person because I'm thinking about catering for people on unskilled jobs.
Do you think Joe should pay himself less and pay his staff more?
Yeah, definitely.
You mean no, seriously.
Yeah, do you?
No, not at all, mate.
I don't at all.
I think you work hard, so you earn.
Well, no.
what you
The
earn.
sole owner of the
absolutely
business,
I've got crap and be like, ah! I'm back. Sorry, go on.
the sole owner of the business carries the risk.
Yeah.
So
So
what?
he gets the profit.
So he gets the profit.
Yeah, but
The person who's got the job, they carry no risk at all. They get their paid what they do and they go home.
but what
He
you are-
carries the sole risk.
What are you arguing here? Like, we
I
agree.
don't even
But-
get
Okay,
what
fair
you're
enough,
doing
yeah,
now,
yeah.
because
We agree
I'm
with
not
that.
saying he should pay himself less.
Shut
At all.
up,
One might
I'm
point.
saying you shouldn't. I'm saying you shouldn't get rid of the low skilled jobs
Yeah,
necessarily.
but I never could.
Who do you
Honestly,
think?
I'm telling you from my position,
So
I
we're having
couldn't.
an argument about.
No, I'm not.
No. It's called the Sunday
Can I-
roast. It's
can
a
I-
debate,
can I
and it's
say
a good
that-
one.
can I say
And you're
that-
bringing a good.
can I say-
You're bringing a good
You could-
counter argument
you
to
could.
everything.
When I say I have
You
different
could get
values, and you assume it's a dig at you.
But Jack, this is why you're good,
Houses are
because
a
you're
dick, but
actually
not in
getting a
a bad way.
different view on everything.
You could-
This
you
is
could
why I
get
raised
rid
the
of
topic.
When you
workers.
question people's core values, it is personal. But that's nothing bad with that, and there's nothing wrong with drawing it into like a philosophical light because it all ties back to the
Am
same
I a
thing.
better person because I sleep rough every year for the homeless? Why don't you do
You
that?
stop doing that, actually.
No,
You
no,
didn't
no.
wanna
no.
do
You realise it made no fucking difference.
Well, if you
Introduce
care
someone-
about people as much as
That's
you
what I'm
do,
saying.
Jack, why don't you do it?
See, Jason's efforts made no
I'm
difference.
making a
but if
point.
We
let
all
me
did
speak.
it.
Why don't you sleep rough for me?
But you should
I
give
will
people.
do it if you want me to.
No, no, but
I
you-
feel like you should still give people the choice.
You killed me.
If they want to do more, they can.
So
if they don't,
me
they don't.
donating
That's
to
my
your
point.
Listen.
charitable cause when you do it is not help. Is
No,
not,
but like, why wouldn't you do it with me?
I would do
And
it
also,
with
you just said, I will do it with you if I want to. You should want to do it.
I would do it with you 100%.
But
Why are you telling him what he should want to do?
Exactly. Why are you telling me that I should want to pay 1%?
No, that
Oh, you're still on about that. Jesus
wasn't-
Christ.
again, that wasn't the
This is a
question.
Thank
different
you,
debate
Dan.
now.
That wasn't the question, bro.
I know.
Why
I'm
do you
just
do
trying
no
to say
charitable
that.
work, Jack?
Why do I not do any charitable
By the way,
work?
I don't do any charitable work.
Arguably,
Does that
I,
make me a
I
bad
don't-
person?
arguably, I
any
do.
charitable work,
Arguably,
but
I do
always-
fucking loads. Does that
but
make
I
me better
always
than all of you?
donate- No, to be fair,
True.
No, I
No, but yeah.
completely.
Am I
completely
better than
right
all of you?
Saying I don't do any charitable work. No, I
Certainly
don't.
not.
Very-
But I will always donate whenever I get a cause with my friends.
True.
Like this. I did
You
Movember.
do?
People
I did
always donate
Movember.
more though.
I did
People
Movember.
will always
We raised
donate more
like
than
400 quid.
But
Yeah,
now
my
you're
friends.
now you're.
No,
You,
that's
but
fine.
I'm not even holding it
But
saying, oh,
what
I'm
I'm
a
saying
better
is, when
person.
you get into this,
You're
No,
basically
no,
trying to
let
say
me
that I'm holding
finish.
value on myself based on if I do
No,
charitable
I'm
work
saying
or not.
no. Listen, I'm saying if you look at things that way, you will inevitably go down that thought process.
Yeah.
For example, if we have the conversation now with Jason, where he goes, "I do more charity work than all of you." If you measure people by that spectrum, then yes, he is a better person because that is the metric that he has pronounced. Okay. Now, if you want to play on that metric field, there's always going to be
But,
someone
do you
better
know what? But I'll
because
never,
someone's
I'll
always going to
never.
be doing
But
more.
now I'll never donate to
Yes,
the homeless
I
one in
agree.
the street.
Why?
I never will.
But
Why?
don't say why would you don't? I've
Why?
seen you walk past
Do you know
homeless men
why
on
I
the
don't?
street.
No,
and so do
I'm
I.
not saying, but I'm saying, I'm
Yeah,
asking
I know,
him
it's just
why.
interesting.
I'll tell you
isn't it?
why.
Like-
I'll tell you why. Because I dated a girl and who looked after the Cardiff homeless. She looked after them anyway. Whatever. I can't describe this topic, right? And she said 95% of them are horrible bastards, right? And literally were so rude and literally take the money and do literally shoot up and do drugs and stuff like that, which is such a horrible stereotype. And it really put me off it. So my solution was, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I will sleep rough and raise money for them in another way.
Okay, so why don't you buy, instead of giving them cash, why don't you do, Taylor's really good at this, one of our mates, Taylor.
Yeah.
And what
Shut up.
he does, he goes to the shop, he doesn't give them any cash, he
Just
goes,
gets food. I mean.
goes to the shop, gets water,
Oh.
toothpaste, the essentials,
Yeah.
like some soap.
And I do that,
to make
lad,
them
but, and I do that. Listen to this. This is a funny story, right? So last time I did it,
Yeah.
the guy
You're going to tell us a
outside the
story
Tesco,
now.
Jack, where we live, I go, would you like something? He goes, yes, I'll have a coffee with 13 sugars done.
Yeah.
I had to pour 13 fucking sugars
Probably not.
swear on my life, into a cup, 13 sugars. Look at this guy's going to be off his fucking tits. So I've never done it again, Dan. I'm
Yeah, I
traumatised by
was
this.
I was in Greg's and there was a guy behind me in the queue.
I remember you.
And he,
Yeah.
I turned to him and he's there with his change and he's obviously homeless. And he goes, oh, you're right. He goes, oh, yeah, I've got to make a decision if I want to buy a sausage roll or have somewhere to stay tonight.
Mm.
And, yeah, they've gone. They've gone to the pub.
Don't worry about it.
And yeah, so I was like, oh,
Don't
mate,
blame me.
I'll get you whatever you want.
Let me
Like,
join this anyway.
I'd rather you just have somewhere to stay.
Yeah, I get you.
And then
Jack.
he goes, oh, I'll have a steak bake, please. I was like, all right, yeah, fine, no bother. I'll have a coffee as well. I was like, yeah, fine. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll have a jam donut as well. I was like, all right, yeah.
Can I-
Come on, I'll be there.
Moving on to another
And
topic.
I bought it for him.
Hold on,
Like,
Jay, do you let him finish?
Sorry.
Jay?
Jesus Christ, like you can't get anything in. it.
Give him your home. You
Sorry,
had your
Jack,
homeless
sorry,
story.
Jack.
I sleep rough, so I'm better.
No. I was doing it on
I'm
purpose.
joking. But yeah, and it makes you question sort of sometimes. I mean, giving him that little thing was nothing really in comparison. So like, I can afford to do that.
Yeah,
But does it make him a worse person if he's taking advantage of it? I think not.
he's
Because
desperate.
the fact
isn't
is he's desperate and he has to do it.
he? Desperation leads to people.
I think it's embarrassing now that we have poverty in like this century now because people have so much wealth. The wealth can be divided across everyone.
Mm.
So
Just
the
have a
issue is I don't see communism's the way forward at all.
Do you,
That is communism.
I don't see but I don't see a solution because obviously
Yeah.
with that you've
Yeah.
got people that are like, oh, why should I
Yeah.
put the
Yeah,
work
yeah.
in to do this?
Yeah.
man?
Problem
Yeah,
is, there'll
yeah.
never be a perfect world, but you can always take the steps towards it.
Yeah.
We're at the lowest point for unemployment, lowest for homelessness it's ever
People
been.
hate to say it, but the Western world's a fucking great thing. I'm sorry, like people hate that. People hate that notion.
Most freedom. You couldn't do this in certain countries.
Yeah,
You couldn't have
you've
this
got to realise how
discussion.
lucky we actually are to be living in, and the opportunities we have. I know you do, and I think everyone needs to appreciate that. So it's when people are saying, you know, we should all do this, should all do this. It's like we have freedoms. We have liberties.
I think a lot of the people though trying to better it are also trying to better it for the rest of the world, for the countries that are living in poverty and haven't got these.
No, but
freedoms.
I don't think they are actually. I think they're a bit conflicted, but that's my personal opinion.
I think some people are trying to better it to make themselves look good, and they don't know.
To their peers.
Yeah, of course.
Because if someone really wanted to, they'd
the
go
social
there.
media age of like.
If someone actually really wanted to, you know, help, you know, kids in Africa, which people do, they'd go there, not talk about it, get it done, and devote their life to doing that. And people do. Fair play to people who shout out if you do.
Do you think there's anything wrong with people that do go there and do that, but slam it everywhere on social media as well?
I don't care.
Because
at that point.
okay.
That's personally, I just think like, well, look, if they want to get some form of, you know, credibility, social proof from it, then power to them if they want to do it.
I have more respect for the people who go out there and then don't slam it on.
Yeah, I have more respect, but
I have nothing wrong with people.
Yeah, it's like they're
doing
going to flog their sales.
I do it, mate.
Charitable sales.
I like a bit of validation.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to, can I just...
Well, no, I don't do it like to the extent some people do it, but like, yeah, I do post it about because I'm trying to make a fucking change.
Yeah, but with your charity things, it's a bit different because you're asking for money, so you've got to post it to get
God,
some
I'm
money.
going to do it to you, mate.
Nice. Cheers, Barry. Yeah, I just wanted to give that to a point. Nothing bad at all. I just want to say I do have an incredible lot of respect for your mum and your family who do work in the NHS. I think they do work ridiculous hours, and I think it's fair. And they think they should be paid more. I don't want my point to impact that because those two things are completely different.
No, but I think as well at the same time what you said there, which I appreciate, is I'm not even asking for them to get paid more. I'm asking for them to have more support. That's it.
Yeah. Which my argument doesn't necessarily come from the finance a bit, but your argument is it might, and that's a fair point, and that's the difference.
I voted Labour for my sister because she works in the NHS. She went and voted fucking Green Party. Fucking twat. Think how I felt.
As well as like there's such a
Cool story, bro.
You know what I mean? I go, oh, what the fuck?
People think that a political party are going to make a difference to the NHS. There's so many tiers in the NHS, and then there's the government. Like they're separate at the end of the day, and that's why, you know, you're not going to change it by voting for a party, and everything is set in stone 5 years in advance.
Should we move?
I've got this, Dan. You're going to love this.
Is it off the political
You're going to
debate?
love, yeah.
It's not really political.
No,
I think it's a philosophical debate,
it is.
really.
Let me do this.
Talking about how to help. What can you do?
Dan, do you think we should can Love Island because there's been 3 deaths associated with it?
Interesting topic. Jay, can you say that to the camera for the highlight?
Yeah. Do we think? Jay. Also my podcast. Right. Do we think there should be? Do we think we should get rid and defunk Love Island because there's been 3 mental health suicidal deaths associated?
Good topic.
with it?
My guy.
I say yes.
Well, of course you want to answer first. Fuck it.
No,
sorry, Dan. I've raised the topic.
Let Jay.
So let others answer and then give your
fucking hell. To highlights.
Why are you fighting me?
To highlights.
Why?
He goes down.
I feel like I think it's like it's us and them.
He goes down.
I don't feel that at all.
I think you're missing the concept. Sorry, mate. I think you missed the concept. We're on a fucking podcast where opinions are. We're not against each other.
No, I know we're not. But you go. You literally look to me and go, Dan. Right, here's
all leads, aren't they?
No, you go down. Dan, here's the question. What do you think? Should we cancel?
Sorry, Dan. And then you this is my autism.
I think
you go, hold on, there's the camera.
Yeah.
I think yes.
Word, please.
Go on then.
Right.
Dan, you
Jay, what's your opinion? I'm doing Jay first because he raised it.
Okay.
Jay, what's your opinion on this?
100%. Can it?
Interesting. I disagree.
I think it should be. I don't watch Love Island, so I'm not sure. But I think it should be considered. But I don't necessarily think you can't can every program because shit happens.
Jeremy Kyle got canned, didn't it, with 1 suicide?
Another good point.
Yeah. But my thing is it shouldn't be canned because the fact is it's just that they get so much sort of attention when it comes to Love Island, like the pressure gets to people, and obviously you've got trolls and stuff online.
The cancel culture.
People is horrible. But you can't say necessarily that a suicide's associated with a show.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just associated with the fact that they're
Yeah. Did they put themselves? Yeah.
People.
So what's your answer?
No, they shouldn't can it.
I'm conflicted because I do feel that if there's anything, you know, out of every TV show out there, it does have the most suicides associated with it, and I think that that's something that deeply needs
Just
consideration.
let him finish.
However, I think that, you know, it's different with Caroline Fletch. She's a presenter, and there was a lot of other things going. It wasn't directly associated with Love Island. However, I do think that it's tragic about obviously the girl, I can't remember her name, and Mike. I don't know if it should be cancelled. I don't think it's fair to cancel something on that premise. However, I think that there needs to be serious psychological forethought into how they pick their people initially and how they handle them afterwards.
That's that's the moment when everyone goes woo, you know, in the crowd like clapping.
I would say that we're culturally bankrupt. It's not so much the show. What you've got to understand is this constant cancel culture of finishing people online, ruining their fucking lives. If they fuck up once, you know, they're the worst person ever, all this shit. It's a cultural problem, and it doesn't matter if Love Island's canned, because another show will come along and it'll be, you know, X on the beach, it'll be anything, right? You can't limit the freedom of people wanting to create content media, or anything they want to do should not be limited in a free society. That said, we do have a cultural problem, and people out there know who they fucking are, and it's people who will, the same people who go, oh, it's so sad that Caroline Flack's fucking, you know, suicide. They'll be slating the fucking same people, bro.
That's the thing. I saw an interesting thing, and it was somebody retweeted. So they like attached 3 pictures, I think, and they said hypocrisy is awful. And it was a girl that tweeted something like Caroline Flash is boring. She should get sacked. Whatever. 3 tweets, I think, slating her basically, and then the end tweet was, "It's so sad to see that she's done that to herself." And it's like, well, you're part and parcel of the problem, because
just go to the toilet
now and go grabbing the tinnies.
Lads,
you're
just let Jack's
part and parcel of the problem, because
facts.
you're literally slating someone because, I don't know, I think people obviously carry a substantial amount of self-worth in slating other people to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, validating
That's just how it is. I don't get why people are like that, that's just how it is, but it's just embarrassing that somebody can be so hypocritical, be the problem, and then say, oh, it's so bad that this is happening.
Yeah.
It's like you're part
I don't even think people realise they're doing it either. No. You know, they just start watching it that evening and just type in shit on Twitter.
You can't. It's like the whole wealth thing. You can't even think about the amount of sort of attention they have. Like the amount of people that follow them on Instagram,
the traffic
Twitter.
they're getting is insane.
And think about it now. Even if they had say they had 1 million followers and they had 1% of them, which is a low percentage of people just slating them as trolls, that's still a substantial amount of people. That's like on you've got 1% of 1 million people sort of slating you.
I get you.
And it's like I talk to 10 people a week or something, say that, but they're like millions of people or so. Hundreds of thousands of people are slating them, and it's just like, well. Can't associate the suicide with the show.
Can I move the conversation to something which is also an interesting point, which goes on to a wider point? The problem is, I'm going to word myself very carefully, because I'm treading on thin ice here.
As usual.
As usual, which you have to do. The individuals who put themselves forward for this experience, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but I'm going to phrase it, are they not aware potentially they are putting themselves in the position of the celebrity, and they know they might not know and be prepared.
We have to go back to what Ward said, is they've got to be vetted properly. So
they
go on the show,
I get you. That's
fair. You should be going through people's social media and looking and go, have they got any issues prior to the show? But what I would say is they're probably looking at these people going, these have got some issues here. We can fucking play off this.
Yeah.
And that's where
which is what they're doing, really.
And if that's the case, if they do any research into it, then the show must be canned. If they are putting a proper vetting in before.
To be honest, I think you could vet someone as much as you want.
Yeah, of course, you can't go into there.
At the same time, you can't see how they're gonna. So what the public think of them, and second, how they're gonna react to the amount of attention.
Of course.
So I could easily say now, I'd go on Love Island. I don't really give. I don't give a shit if people.
But you wouldn't be aware.
But then that's
when
why
it actually happens, I might be like, oh Jesus Christ.
But then that's why they should never can. That's why then they should never can the show, because if you do enough vetting, that's fine. But there's obviously going to be human error in it. It's like anything, like even sports stars, like you don't know what's going to happen when they get all that fame. You look at George Bestman, he had everything, but he fucking dragged himself to death. Like that's not our fault. Like just happened. Like he just became an absolute superstar,
But
and he
people
couldn't
are
handle
always
it.
going to react differently to
Yeah.
the
It'll be
attention
interesting now that they've got one in America and one in Australia to see if there's a similar thing. And what you've also got to consider as well is like there's things like The Bachelor in the US and X on the Beach. It's like they do not have that problem at all. Like where people are coming out and they're depressed. And
No,
like,
but
you know what I mean?
those sorts of shows don't have the same sort of attention in comparison.
No, well,
You
you think
don't-
about the
you-
US though.
You don't go on
Sorry,
Instagram
yeah.
and have a look at the Bachelorette's bloody
No, I
Instagram,
don't,
do you?
but
You go on Instagram and you see
That
Olivia
show.
Jade
Yeah, I
Atwood,
know,
or
but that's
you see
because we're in a
Mike from Love Island.
specifically UK audience. I think in America it's different, and the only reason I know about them is because I watch like US podcasts and stuff like that. That's the only reason.
The going back to that point as well, I really think what is happening at the moment, because Love Island is a cultural sensation, when you do start addressing it in different countries and stuff, there won't be as much euphoria surrounding it, and it will turn into a sort of dead end reality TV Big Brother show, whereby you won't have these cases of these individuals, you know, having to go through all these horrible things and that happening to them. I think it's just because it is a spotlight cultural sensation,
lot of attention
and
on
that's and I think any show that filled those boots, you would be, you know, encountering these problems.
To be honest, I think if it didn't have the attention it has,
Yeah.
they probably, well, you can't say that, but
You're right.
The light.
there's probably a correlation between.
You're just putting it, put it up a little bit more. I would, mate.
There's probably a
pretty dark, though.
correlation between attention and potential for things like that.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's hard, isn't it? Because I do agree with you, Jack. Whereby you say it's like just panning the show isn't like disabling it isn't solving the issue. The show is symptomatic, but it's not the root cause by any stretch, I would say personally. But Jay, you actually said, sorry to bring Jay back into convo, you actually said that you not that he needs any introduction to Dan.
Hey, cheers, Dan. Oh.
Oh, fuck this guy again.
Oh, wait, I've hardly spoke.
Yeah, it's facts. So
That'll be the day.
so Jay was basically saying that he
My
thinks-
fucking show.
you think it should be canned. Can you now elaborate as to why?
Well, no, I've changed my mind.
Stephen Crowder changed my mind.
Well, this is why we have debates.
Yeah,
mate.
true, it's a
You-
fact.
So you can change your mind.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
if you're going to go into
Why
a
were
debate,
you? Why were you thinking
Yeah,
it should be canned
initially.
Because I haven't thought that much into it, obviously.
it just upset him to the
Well,
point
no,
where
he
it's
raised
like-
some good
I
points.
just wanted the camera back on him. He raised
No,
the question
listen,
so he
Mo.
could get back in front of that.
Give
Now
him-
you've had
I
your
think
laugh, right?
the main issue is the fact that
He's cut me now.
Right,
the
JJ.
main issue is you don't realise that people are genuinely horrible. Like
Yeah,
some people
yeah.
are just horrible. That's
I've
just
been
what it
horrible.
is.
Hands up, mate. I've been horrible.
Yeah, of course we
Yeah,
are.
we all have.
Do you think
Yeah.
before social media,
You would have got a job.
Social media at the end of the day is a window into people's lives, isn't it?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and that's what Love Island is a window into people's life in a select environment. Do you think before social media, Love Island would have been more intense or less?
It wouldn't have happened, mate.
Less,
Culturally, to
Less
stark as a difference.
Can I
They correlate, I
change
think,
the?
definitely.
Can I change the subject?
Yes, you can, but my
Um,
butt's sweaty. I've got sweaty gweech.
Who wins in a fight?
Oh yes, can we get the apples out for this? This is a new
No, let's
segment.
have the debate.
Oh, sorry,
first.
yeah.
I need to build
New
myself up
segment,
for the
new
outcome.
segment. All right, okay. So basically,
I'm not going to win in
I
it.
think that's going to be a struggle.
Oh, mate.
what?
This is what I mean. This is why I'd win in a fight because
I
you're
wouldn't.
mentally weak.
So basically, we had a quick discussion before we went on the podcast. We had a quick discussion
Don't
whereby
He's
who would win
literally
in
like on you like this.
Josh,
literally,
please
right
let
now.
me intro it for the
Sorry.
highlight. So before we went on the podcast, we had a quick discussion as to who would win in a fight, and it was Dan Gleeson and Jason fucking Lloyd.
Who
bro.
do you think would win in a
Let's
fight?
do a vote. Should we do a vote? Alright, cool. So Jason and Dan, because they've been beefing all fucking show anyway. I've been beefing with Jack, but Jack will probably.
Oh,
beat me.
actually, we'll do that as well. Go on. So, who wins, Jack?
Who
What,
between?
you or
Me and Dan.
I've seen Jason fight, so I'm going to go down.
Jack, didn't you see me floor Russian?
No, I saw you rolling. I saw you doing some
Do
jiu.
you see me flooring
I
Russian?
saw you.
just like Ben Swims.
I
Like
saw you doing.
doing.
No, I saw you doing some jiu-jitsu
Shout
on
out,
the floor with a guy half your size.
Right, fair. I get battered.
Jarry, who do you think will win in a fight? Jay or Dan?
The thing is, right, if Jay gets Dan down,
Feel
he's not
invested.
getting back up.
Just squish.
Yes.
And
Just
that's
squish the loss.
why I'm unfortunately going to have to go with Jay for pure weight.
Right. listen.
It's
I'm
a valid argument.
I'm gonna throw a
It's
spanner.
my
in.
argument.
Skill,
It
Dan.
is a
It's not
valid
skill.
argument.
It's not
I'm
fitness.
gonna-
It's weight.
Yeah, mass. Just sheer mass.
Go, Jay.
So basically, I would hunt. Right, I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works. Jason, listen. I only think he'd win if he snapped. Like, and I'm only saying that because Jason can be quite freaky when he snapped.
It's like when you're
when he goes, he does go. So I think maybe Dan, if you did snap, but I think you have got the advantage of popping. Are we talking boxing? Like we're talking a stand-up boxing
No,
match?
just a scrap.
If
Dan will win a boxing match.
Dan will win a boxing
If I
match.
trained for 8 weeks, I'd win.
All right, that's fair.
I think
I'd
Dan
jab
will
his
like-
face off.
Yeah,
And
you're not gonna get past his
Mate,
reach.
You cut your nose on this
You'd
cold
have to
stuff.
train for longer than 8 weeks to get that in shape.
Dan could dance around the ring for 2 rounds. And
I
you'd be out of
will.
breath.
I will train for 8 weeks.
8
and box
years.
you.
8 years.
All right, then we'll do
Alright,
Sunday
we'll do a
roast
boxing
in
match
the
outside
garden.
charity.
Do you want to train for that next year?
Yeah, next year we'll box.
Mate, we'll do it. 8 weeks.
No.
8
No,
weeks.
you'll be fit. No,
days.
facts. Jay will be the fittest he's ever been when he's been to France.
Yeah.
8 weeks, 8 days, 8 hours.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Are we doing it with no training?
No, you can have training.
Training? Fuck me, I don't need training to be here.
If you weren't training, that's a bad
It's
thing.
quite good. I'll do it.
Alright, we'll do a
Alright.
boxing match outside.
You're in
I
for a-
know
you're
I
in
beat
for a-
Harry in a scrap,
Mate, you're in for a
even though
world
he's good
of
at
trouble.
taekwondo.
Yeah, you tackle and
Because I
shit.
almost choked him out.
And you're
once.
mentally
You did
weak.
almost check me out.
Can we wear
Did
headlocks?
Joe's guardian.
I
Lads,
had you on
two
my
Wait,
punches,
wait,
you
can
look
I-
good
lads,
back.
lads,
Yeah,
two
can I just
punches.
say something?
Lads,
The fight's
two punches,
okay.
just
The
go
fight
away.
is already over. He just goes, "Can we wear head guards?"
Yeah, because I'm worried I'd hurt you.
He's not backing.
Oh, really? Is yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't that right, Sheriff?
No head guards. Gypsy
10
bear,
hours
bear
off,
knuckle.
someone's
The
getting
only
knocked
reason I
out.
thought I'd lose is Dan gets got a pretty good headlock on him. Have you
Yeah,
ever been
but he's
headlocked?
boxing match.
Yeah.
Jay, I'd go bare knuckle as well if you could.
No, we
Yeah,
had
you have to go
knuckle,
bare
lads.
knuckle
Fucking
gypsy.
hell, I'm not trying to get one each.
Yes,
Mm.
do it.
Right, so we're having a
Sorry.
boxing. Who wins that? Are you and Joe then, Jack?
Jack probably.
Joe beat me boxing.
It's a good
100%.
fight.
Oh no, boxing.
MMA, I'd beat
I'm
him.
not backing myself, but I know how to box.
It is.
I'd just
I'll
take him
probably
down
do
and I
box.
could choke him
In
out.
MMA, I think Jack will win, but boxing, no chance.
Boxing, Joe beat
It is
Joe.
psychopath versus psychopath as well. When he's
I'm
out.
not that. I'm not.
No,
I'm
you're more
chilled out as
psycho
fuck
than
now.
him.
I'm chilled as fuck.
No, but everyone's got a switch.
Yeah.
I don't think the switch would go though. In this
Technically,
situation.
Harry should beat us
People
all
have
because
got
he's
it
got
all,
a black belt.
I know Harry beat me in a kickboxing
And I bombed him
match.
so hard in year 8.
What was bombs?
Yeah. Harry beat me in a kickboxing match.
Turns around, Bobby in the
I go, Harry beat me in a boxing match, but in MMA, I almost choked him out in your garden. So
I would be freaked out with Jack MMA.
Yeah, no, he's really good
Yeah.
because what he does, he waits till you sat down and,
And then
obviously,
gets
like
you
you're on
from
the
behind.
table and
Oh,
then
he
he
did that
comes
to
from
me.
behind.
Did that to
Yeah,
me
he
at his
comes from
house.
behind.
I was on the sofa and he choked me out for no reason. That was it.
If we
Or,
all
or someone throws your pants across the other side of the room, you go and pick them up,
Yeah.
with your shoes, sorry, and then you choke like shit and goes, MMA!
if we all had a race now,
alright, we'll do a fair one right now.
No, we're
No,
not.
Okay, I'll give Dan this one. If we all had a race, Dan would batter everyone. That's a fact.
well, I couldn't make 100 metres first of all.
In the race, Dan will win now.
Probably will.
I reckon it'd be like
Probably. Are we fucking?
I'll maybe a close.
The one thing I back myself with is if we had a race to see who could run the furthest, I think I'd win.
no, this guy can run a long
Nah,
way. You
mate.
talking about cross country king here?
It's cross
Are you
country
alright?
can.
How much have you?
He
actually
doesn't know you
done?
though. He doesn't know you like that. We know you're a fucking.
We know you like
we know that
cross-country
your fucking nectar is going out on a run in the
You
morning.
never. Dan would crush any man here at cross country. That's a fact.
That's an animal.
Alright, I'll come.
I'm not even
back.
backing. I'm not even backing myself. But I have been running now.
What's your 5k done?
My fitness is alright now.
At the minute, it's about 20 minutes.
What's your
20 minutes,
401k?
30 seconds.
That's good. So Jack's is 22, 21, 22. Mine actually.
I have been under 20.
What do you think mine is done?
Get the apples out. War.
Honest question.
Well, my dad's running 5k at the minute, about 25 and a half, 26 minutes. So
Okay.
probably similar.
Very similar. So mine was just under.
Similar to a 6.
Chuck 'em
Well, I
in
think
now.
mine was like just under 27.
Alright.
Just under I was.
We got a new segment.
This is
It's called.
interesting
Why are
because-
you trying to catch them?
Because
I'm over here and you're doing
Yeah,
that.
because we're the ones eating them.
Yes, but.
Jason wanted this,
Right,
by the way.
right.
Jason wanted to win some of this. So he
Listen.
goes, let's have an
I
eating
don't want to
contest.
do this
Viewers,
because I've got weak
How's
teeth.
them, man?
He goes, right, viewers, Jason Lloyd and Dan Gleeson. This is a preemptive fight in itself. Dan, they're both going to eat
what's-
apples.
how-
Listen,
how
this
you
is how
decide
it's
if it's
judged.
complete?
This is how it's judged. The
Do we have to
core-
eat it?
Yes, the core can remain, right? It's when I say, ready, steady, go.
So
I'm
no,
gonna-
we need to
You
read the
sit
rules.
fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I do not want this.
I'm gonna
Oh,
tell
neither
you.
do I.
When it comes to food, I know Jason's going to win.
No, I'm struggling.
It's an apple war.
I'm struggling.
Yeah, alright.
It's not a bowl of carbonara or
When
bolognese.
you start going on
I'm not-
an apple,
I-
and you're sticking
Cheers for the
I would
towel.
win normally,
For all
but
the sauce that we're going to spill.
Listen, right, here's the rules, okay? The core obviously can remain. When you finish, you're going to put your core on the table now.
Put your Corey on the table.
well, I think it should
Oh, I'm going to
be.
get a fucking mattress to cover the bottom of that as well.
No, let's do it like this. Who can eat Oh, sorry,
oh,
Jack.
no, I got the video.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'll stop that.
Sorry, mate. Are you done?
No. Let Jack finish what he's doing.
Right, sounds
Alright, okay.
Right. I think we should do. How fast can you do a whole loop? Because the actual.
Look, mate, this guy bottles competition like I've never known.
Can I
anything
just
in my
explain the
life.
fucking rules?
Yeah.
When you're finished, you put the car on the table. If there is some discrepancy, we will judge at the end who finished it. Now, if somebody finishes first, that is absolutely fine. However, if they finish first and they've left fucking loads, then we'll be like, yeah. All right, so they're the rules, okay? I'm ready, steady. What are you, Jim? Look at no, look how small his teeth are. Look how small he bites into that.
It's a massive apple.
All right.
Okay, on ready, steady, go. You're gonna start.
Do we have to consume it or can we spit it out?
No, you
Oh, yeah.
Alright, Dan.
You strike me as a swallower.
Dan, can we have 28-ounce gloves?
We're ready.
Ready.
Jay swallows.
Steady. Go. Wow, he's going for the big chomp. Dan, you're a bitch.
That's why I gave my teeth out.
Oh no, Zap's done it, I see.
You screwed yourself there, Jake. You're dribbling.
What a segment. This is Class A entertainment. I thought this would be a bit more dramatic,
It's
but
not.
Yeah, no.
Dan's just eating it like
some
a normal
impulsive
apple.
shit. Get this impulsive
I
shit.
feel
on.
sick.
You got fucking bogies coming out your sweet.
Mate, you've got a fucking big mouth.
Oi, why do we ever think Dan would be good at this? He can't even eat cereal fucking in 10 minutes.
Oh,
He's just slower than Jack Brooks, for fuck's sake.
I don't try to bed. You don't need that one. That's not pasta, mate.
Come on,
Joe
boys.
would win with pasta, to be
I would win with pasta. I think Jay's got this. Wait, no, Dan's
It's just quite sickly, this is.
thumbnail. Thumbnail.
You look like a thingy from Dark Souls.
Jay, you destroyed that apple.
Bogey! This apple reach
Joe's
is
guts
so
out.
good. I'm so glad we did this.
Oh, Dan,
He's eating the core.
yeah.
You can't breathe. You're right.
It's really hard to laugh with because it's so acidic in the back of your throat.
Jay's actually eating the core.
So what time's Dan starting his apple?
Oh, wait, he's speeding up now.
I'm gonna fucking show you.
Come on, Dan. You got it, mate.
He's doing
Bring the
alright.
camera back out. I think. So how are we doing?
I feel sick.
I think Jay might have this, Dan. No? Dan's doing alright. We're killing them. Oh, you've been shit guests, so we're fucking finishing you off. This is hilarious, man. Jay won.
He hasn't finished it yet.
Why does it look like a 5-course meal? I've never seen so
Go
much
on,
apple.
You can do it.
Oh wait! Oh my god! Oh wow! That was mental.
Dan was first.
Oh,
Who swallows it first, though?
Who swallows it first? Who swallows it first?
Right.
Show me your mouth after.
Look at Jay's mouth, is so full.
Done.
Dan Gleeson is the winner. You are joking. Congratulations, Dan.
Told you you're weak as piss, mate.
Dan won. Well done.
That was awesome, Dan. Really enjoyed that.
Alright.
Shall we end it there on a high?
Oh,
Put
mate.
it on the apple fire.
That
Right, well, thank you for tuning in to episode 15. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Jack.
Can we have a fight now?
No, can I have a hug?
That's the hardest thing I've ever done.